The everyday prayer in Psalm 11 is a prayer of escape. Really, it's a prayer of escape. It's a prayer of escape for when the foundation in which you stand on crumbles out from underneath your feet. See, David prays this: when the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? For David, the very social order in which he stood on crumbled out from underneath his feet. Now he's asking God, what do I do now? What do I do next? Everything that I knew has crumbled. What now? The advice that he got from other people? Escape to the mountains like a bird. Get out of Dodge. Head for the hills. Bolster up your weapons. Wait this thing out. And then come back and build your foundation again. But David knew. This is not going to work. See, if my earthly foundation crumbled once, what's the likelihood of it crumbling a second, a third, a fourth time? Pretty high, right? See, this is what David did instead. This is where David escaped instead. The Lord is in his holy temple. The Lord's throne is in heaven. His eyes watch. He examines everyone. David decided, I'm not going to escape to the hills. I am going to escape to God's presence in his heavenly throne room. I'm not going to escape to the earthly temple. I am going to escape to his presence inside his heavenly throne room. Brilliant, right? For two reasons. One, if he is in God's heavenly throne room, what can anybody do to him, right? What can anybody do to him? He's with God. Now granted, David's body, there's nothing weird and metaphysical going on here. David's body was still on this earth. But if he is in the very presence of God, in the very throne room of God, in heaven, anything anybody does to him, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's escaped into God's very presence. And secondly, if his earthly foundation is going to crumble again, then he needs to build a different foundation, right? He needs to build a foundation that is in heaven. It's in heaven. And that foundation never crumbles. So as he builds the earthly foundation back, if he is building that on the foundation in which he builds, as he escapes into God's presence in heaven, the earthly foundation can crumble again, but he will still be standing on the solid foundation that he built while in the presence of God. Look, our earthly foundation will crumble. There will be something that will happen in our life that will make our foundation crumble. At that point in time, where is the next foundation that you're going to be standing on? Is it going to be on the earthly foundation that you build again, or is it going to be on a heavenly foundation that you have built and have been building while you've been escaping to God's presence? Be an escapist. Be an escapist. Escape to the very presence of God, because nobody can touch you there. And that foundation in which you build will be the most solid foundation you could ever build.